Hello there guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. It is the final week, the spring/hot season of the Series 15 Horizon Holidays series in Forza Horizon 5, which means next week we will have the #Forzathon starting on the 5th of January, which, hence the name, or should I say not hence the name, contains no Fords. But anyway, in this video we'll be working through the entirety of the spring season, and I'll be helping you to complete all of the challenges, giving you tips, tricks and tunes in order to complete all the individual challenges, thus gaining yourself the individual rewards and getting enough points to work towards your season and series rewards. Following on from the previous weeks, my controller keeps disconnecting. We have 60 points available this week, and for 20 points you'll be able to get the brand new to Horizon 5 AMC Rebel The Machine, as it is nicknamed. Some of you may recognise this from Horizon 4, similarly to the Limo, the Plymouth Fury and the AMZ Javelin, which were all featured in Horizon 4 and for some reason were not added to Horizon 5 at the start, presumably only to give the developers an excuse to add them in again in the Series 15. And then for 40 points we have the Porsche 911 Gunther Works. That is a very, very cool car actually, and I'd highly recommend working towards getting that one. And of course we have our series rewards as usual. For 80 points we have the number 22 Extreme, that's the one with the yellow paint job, because remember they are actually all the same car, just with a different paint job, because the developers thought it would be a great idea to add all of them in rather than just one with various paint options, but we won't question that one. And then for 160 points, which I personally will be able to unlock this week if I get 40 points, is the Ferrari California T. That is a nice convertible, and it was added back in Series 2 or 4, one of the two. It's a very, very cool car, and I highly recommend, if you are able to, if you've completed enough of the challenges in the previous weeks, to get yourself that unlocked this week. Let's start off this week's Spring Festival playlist with the Forzathon events. As usual, we have a weekly Forzathon challenge, some daily Forzathon challenges, and a Horizon Forzathon shop where you can spend all of your Forzathon points. Remember, you can get Forzathon points from completing Horizon Arcade as well, so if you're ever short of them, you can go to Horizon Arcade, do loads of Horizon Arcade until you get your Forzathon points, and then you'll be able to spend them in the Forzathon shop. Our first event then is the weekly #Forzathon challenge, which is called Rise to the Challenge. It will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and 80 Forzathon points, or 160 Forzathon points if you own the La Casa Solagera house. That house comes free with VIP, and it gets you double Forzathon points in any Forzathon related event, including Horizon Arcade of course, because you get double Forzathon points for that. I've also noticed that sometimes when the developers gift you Forzathon points, you also get double there as well, but it doesn't always work. It depends if the developers have picked up on it or not. Now, of course, if you are eagle-eyed, you may remember this Forzathon from a few months ago, because we have actually seen this one before, similarly to the way that we've seen this one before, and that we've seen this one before, and also that we've seen this one before. So we've now got to the stage in the game where we've surpassed the 1-year anniversary, and the developers are now recycling content this early in the game. In Horizon 4, it was around 2 years. Maybe 1.5 you could argue, but with Horizon 5, just the year, yep, just the year, and they are already recycling content. It's good news, it is really good news. Anyway, the first chapter of this Forzathon challenge is called Flex Those Muscles. I want you to own and drive the 2018 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. This vehicle can be purchased from the auto show for 150,000 credits, and however that is a bit hefty. Remember, we're not in real life, we are in Forza, and therefore 150,000 credits is basically like 0.01p in real life. You might want to pop a tune on this, but if you are going to do so, I'd wait till Chapter 3, because Chapter 2 requires you to keep it stock. So keep it stock for Chapter 2, and then Chapter 3 I've got a tune shared, which is in S1 class, under my gamertag at Shylo 2017, if you want to use it. Moving on then to Chapter 2, In the Groove. This wants you to keep it stock to win an A-class drag race. Remember, you can do the festival drag race, the airstrip drag race at the south of Mulhay, or Mulege, or Mulege, and we've also got the Toyota Hikuen drag strip. There are literally no drag strips kind of in the top right of the right of the map. So only 3 drag strips to pick from. Pick one of them and win that drag race in your stock Challenger Demon. If you want to make it easier for yourself, you can lower the difficulty so that the AI aren't just going to be absolutely rocketing, because remember, they have loads of extra power. Even if it's rear wheel drive, it drives like an all-wheel drive, and they seem to have immense grip and launch, meaning that they can literally outplay you in a Ford Focus. And so yeah, I would recommend turning the difficulty down if you want to make it easy for yourself. Once you've won your stock drag race, you can pop a tune on it to complete Chapter 3 Power Up, which wants you to win an S1 class drag race. So again, pick any of the 3 drag races in your tuned Challenger Demon, and same things apply with the difficulty if you wanted to make it easier for yourself. However, my tune has drag tyres, and despite being rear wheel drive, has an incredible launch, so hopefully you'll be able to defeat them, the AI, without needing to lower the difficulty, but you never know, because it is the AI. The final chapter of this Rise to the Challenge weekly Forzathon challenge is called Limited Edition, and wants you to simply take a photo of your limited edition Dodge Challenger Demon. So anywhere on the map, once you've completed your chapter 3, just open up photo mode and take a picture of your lovely Challenger Demon, and you'll have completed the Forzathon weekly challenge. Next up, we have the daily Forzathon challenges. These pop up once every day at 2:30 PM GMT, so there are 7 of them, meaning that you'll get 1 pop up every day. There you go. So they are different every day. They're usually quite easy. However, if you are struggling with any of them, do not hesitate to contact me in the comments, on an Xbox message, or on a Discord message. I'm pretty sure my details are in the description for you to contact me. If not, leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to help you out with these challenges as we progress throughout the week. And of course, the thing that you have all been waiting for, it is the Horizon Forzathon shop. However, you might be a bit disappointed to find out that the only things in the Forzathon shop this week are the Pagani Zonda Sync Roadster from 2009. That is for 700 Forzathon points. One may argue that is a bit of a rip-off, and I might agree on that one, despite the cost of the car in the auto show. We also have the Mercedes-Benz Tank Bull 24 racing truck for 400 Forzathon points. That is possibly the worst vehicle ever to be added to a Forza game, so I'd probably steer away from that one. That is a bit of a pun, because actually it doesn't steer, so you won't be able to steer away from it. Then we have the Clock Tower car horn. I know you all like to listen to the horn, so this is what that sounds like. Yep, very imaginative. Then we have the Yellow Spake Sundress, or Spike, or S-P-A-I-K, I don't really know how you're supposed to pronounce that, and the green suit if you're wanting to dress up like an absolute weirdo. So that is the Forzathon shop for the week. We now move on to the next section, which is the seasonal events. This is usually the longer section because it contains the trial, playground games, the PR stunts, seasonal championships, and this week it also contains the Horizon Tour, so we better crack on. Let's start this section off then with the trial, which is called Holiday Rush. This will get you 10 points towards the Festo playlist and an Audi TTS from 2015. Okay, so the restriction for this one is C-Class Hot Hatch, and you'll be racing on road. Before I give you my suggestions for this one, I'd just like to remind you that with the trial, it is a co-op event, meaning that you do need Xbox Live Gold or Ultimate, and you also need to have unlocked the Hall of Fame in-game. So if, unfortunately I didn't know it, if you don't know how to unlock the Hall of Fame, or you're struggling with it, I did make a guide quite a while ago on the channel, so if you search for either in the YouTube search or in my channel, you will be able to find the Hall of Fame guide, and that tells you all you need to know about unlocking the Hall of Fame. And also, with it being a co-op event, you'll be racing on a team of randoms, unless you're doing it with a convoy, against the team of 6 driver tires, and your aim is to beat the driver tires by overtaking them. When you overtake them, you get like 100 points, and you need to have more points on your team versus the total of the driver tires team in order to win in a best of 3 tournament. I only have one suggestion for you for this one this week, however I'm sure there are other tunes out there if you so require them. The car I've got for you this week is the 2016 Vauxhall Corsa VXR. It's 28,000 credits in the auto show, so very very cheap, and I've upgraded it to the top of C-Class by keeping it front wheel drive, adding on drag tyres, and then upgrading the power to 295 horsepower. It is quite heavy considering how small the car is, at nearly 1,400 kilograms. However, it does go like an absolute rocket, and whilst it doesn't turn very well, obviously you have to be careful applying the power through the corners. It's quite easy to drive overall, and of course it is very quick. And usually the thing with C-Class cars is they are really slow on the straights, and obviously this is the exact opposite of that, and hopefully it'll help you to be able to get to the front of the pack and help your team win. Moving on, we have next the seasonal playground games, which is called We 3 Kings. I assume by that it will be 3 rounds of King, because for some reason the developers seem to want to restrict it to one game mode, and you just repeat that game mode rather than going through all 3 of them. I'm not really sure why they started doing that a few months ago, but it seems to be tradition now, and we can't really talk them out of it. Anyway, this will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist and a BMW Z4 from 2008. Of course, with the playground games, it's a team of 6 versus a team of 6. And basically, even if your team loses, you'll still get the reward. So you could argue that there's no point in playing, but then again, there kind of is, because otherwise you get disconnected for inactivity. So the restriction for this one is S1 class anything goes. I'm not going to spend too much time on my car suggestions for this one, as it is anything goes. However, I will suggest a couple for you, just for the overall nature of playground games. Okay then, first of all we have the 2017 Ferrari J50. This is only available to car pass owners, however with it having rally tyres it is pretty good for nipping around. Then we have the Ford Racing Puma Forza Edition, pre-tuned by Forza, only available to those with VIP pass. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth from 1992, that is a Forzathon tune, but it is very nippy, very nimble, and so will hopefully be able to help you with the games. Then we have the Hoonigan Gymkhana 10 Escort Cosworth Group A from 1991, very powerful, very grippy, and overall a really fun car to throw around. And then finally, all the way up the end here, is the TVR Cerberus Speed 12 from 98, running lots of power, rally tyres I think, and is really good at nipping around with its short gears. We now have ourselves the 3 seasonal PR stunts, and as per tradition I will be showing you the restriction, what cars I'm suggesting, any other information, and then I'll show you a quick clip of me completing it, just to prove that it is possible. Usually I do fail at least one of these. Last week I failed both of them, so it may not go well, but I can assure you that they are possible if you don't drive like a noob. So let's get straight into it. Our first PR stunt is the Heights of Mulege danger sign, 2 points in the super wheel spin, that is a reward for all of them, and also a collective restriction is S2 class anything goes. Again, the developers seem to be obsessed with S2 class anything goes for PR stunts. They've been doing this for many months now. It's kind of getting a bit old, you know, but I'm sure I'm sure they'll change it at some point in the future, perhaps in the next eternity. So the restriction, or should I say the objective for this one, is 330 metres, and you'll be starting from the road and heading up the cliff and jumping down into Mulege. To keep the video as short as possible, I'll show all of the S2 class cars that I generally use for PR stunts. Now, these will probably all work for each of the PR stunts that I'm showing today, and these are kind of the ones that I've been generally using over the past however many weeks that we've been having S2 class PR stunts. So they are the 2015 Audi RS6 Avant. That is kind of a purist option, you know, one to kind of a bit more tricky to do, but also very rewarding. And then we also have the Hoonigan RS200, obviously the best option for any off-road PR stunts, and also on-road as well. We have the Mercedes-Benz AMG CLK GTR Forza Edition, obviously pre-tuned. We also have the Rimac Concept 2 from 2019, and sometimes I also suggest the Vool if you're doing kind of on-road PR stunts. For this one, I am going to be using the Hoonigan RS200 because it is, of course, the best car for any off-road PR stunt. So objectives are simply just to absolutely full send it, carry as much speed as we can up the hill. Obviously, the Hoonigan's got lots of power, so it should be able to accelerate well. 330 metres is the objective, and we have got 304. So, as per usual, I have failed the first one, and I'm going to have to go and do it again. And as you can see here, except our controller's disconnected again, it's very annoying this, and it's incredibly irritating. It is indeed possible to complete this danger sign. It only took me 3 attempts on this one, which is a lot better than last week's. Next up is the La Subira Speed Zone. Again, same reward and same restriction. The objective for this one is 130 miles an hour, and as you can see, it's a pretty easy speed zone to access. You basically just full send it the whole way, so we should have no problem in completing this one. I'm sticking with the Hoonigan RS100 for this one, and my run up starts on the road kind of behind, and what I tend to do is I tend to cut across here, just so I can carry more speed round the corner instead of having to kind of divert around the corner. So simply we just jump onto here. Obviously I'm only carrying 100 miles an hour, but that sometimes can make all the difference. We can cut a little bit to try and keep ourselves in a straight line, and essentially just send it right away through 149 miles an hour average there. That's the speed and then average of your speed. I could have gone a lot faster, but there was no need to, and therefore really easy to complete. Our final PR stunt of the week, and of course the series, is the Sand and Deliver Trailblazer. Again, for the third time, same restriction and same reward, but this time the objective is 35 seconds left on the clock. I assume that you get like 60 or 70 seconds at the start, and then it starts counting down, and you need to have 35 seconds left on the clock at the end. You can see that the finish that we need to get to is just at the bottom middle of your map there, so we've basically got to navigate around the dunes so we don't lose too much speed, and then full send it across. For this one is actually set in an X class Lotus Avaya, so it is capable to do this in the Rimac as well, an S2 class Rimac or anything like that, but I'm just going to stick with the Hoonigan because it saves time, and I know the Hoonigan will be able to complete it for this objective. So basically we full send it at first to see how much speed we can get, and then we absolutely yeet, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be aiming for the road. So that wasn't an ideal landing because there was a bit of speed there, but then basically we come off the road here, we go around these dunes so that we don't lose speed jumping over them, then we can use all the speed of the Hoonigan. We're doing about 170 miles an hour right now, and we jump over here trying not to lose too much speed, and we do have to take a jump there, we flip it, and we go across the line backwards to get 38.4 seconds. Of course, not the cleanest run there, but it was a very fun run to do, and we were able to complete it the first time. We now have ourselves 3 seasonal championships. As usual, these can be completed in solo or co-op. If you're doing them in solo, you'll need to make sure that you drive or fast travel to each of the 3 races that are marked out at the start of each championship, and you need to have more points than the AI at the end of the championship. If you're doing it in co-op, it'll work the same way as the trial, so you and the people in your convoy will be automatically fast travel between the races, and it'll work as the best of 3 just like the trial. The first championship for this week is called Feliz Navidad. It will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a 2002 Chevrolet Corvette. It is on dirt racing, and the restriction is B class from decade 2010s. I've got a few suggestions for you this week, so let's crack into it very quickly. So first of all, we have the 2011 Audi RS3. This is made for road and dirt, can be quite average on both of them. And then we also have, moving along, the 2017 Ford Focus RS. This tune is actually made by Lorax, so I'll leave his gamertag in the description so you can go and give him some downloads. And then finally we have the 2019 Porsche Macan Turbo. Again, this car kind of crosses between dirt and cross country, but is also really good on dirt, even though it's primarily made for cross country. The next championship for the week is called New Beginnings. It is road racing and will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist plus a Cadillac ATS-V. The restriction for this one is A-class modern sports cars. Once again, quite a few suggestions for this championship. So first of all, the 2015 Audi TTS, you might remember that is the reward for the trial, so you'll be able to get that one, otherwise it is 52,000 credits in the auto show. Then we have the 2018 Audi TT RS, that is the Car Pass exclusive version. If you don't own Car Pass, you'll have to perhaps use the 2010 Audi TT RS Coupe. That one is slightly more expensive than the 2015 because it is the RS rather than just the S. Then we also have the BMW Z4M Coupe from 2008. I made that on stream once. It isn't the best, but it is also pretty fast. And then finally, all the way over here, we have the 2012 Lotus XE-Jess. That is one of the most OP A-class cars. However, it is my tune, which probably means that it isn't as OP as it possibly could be. However, still a very good tune to drive and very easy to drive for beginners. The final championship for the spring/hot season is called Down for the Countdown. It is cross country and will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a Jaguar F-Pace S. The restriction for this one is C-class pickups and 4x4s. My first suggestion for this one is the 2011 Ford F-150 SVT Raptor. This is 42,000 credits in the auto show, not to be confused with the 2017 Ford F-150 Raptor. It's running the 6.2 litre V8 with plenty of power, however it is running stock tyres, so do be careful when you are going through the corners not to send it too hard, or you will probably slide out because it hasn't got too much grip. And then also at the end here we have the 1979 Toyota FJ40. This is a bit of a funky build because it's running the 2 litre kind of weird engine which produces 330 horsepower, so it's really good at accelerating and it's also pretty good at launch. It does top out at about 120-130 mile an hour, really that's where it kind of dies, but the acceleration to get there is pretty swift. But obviously again be careful not to slide it too far because it doesn't really have any kind of steering wheel, to be honest with you. We now have ourselves the challenges section. There's actually only one challenge in this section this week, and it is the photo challenge #hide and seek. This wants you to photograph the snowman at the Buena Esperanza Playhouse near Ekbalam, and doing this will get you 2 points towards the festival playlist and a sad snowman head clothing reward. For this I would recommend filtering to houses on your map, and then you'll need to head down towards the Horizon Wilds and the Ekbalam location, and in between them you'll see the the Buena Esperanza house. It is a purchasable house of course, and it's kind of like a pinky kind of colour, so you need to head there and then photograph the snowman. It might be helpful for you to know that you do not actually have to include your car in this photo, so just park your car up anywhere where you spawn, and then you just need to photograph the snowman. So when you enter the house from the road here, it's literally directly towards you, there's no hunting around this week. In between these two massive Christmas trees here, just click A on the snowman and it'll say photo challenge complete, and you'll have your reward and your points. With the challenges section quickly over, we can now move swiftly on to the monthly events section, and as suggested by the name, these events can be completed at any time throughout the month. Of course, this is your last chance to complete them, the Series 15 monthly events. However, if you've already completed them in any of the other 3 seasons like I have, you will not need to complete these again. But for those of you that haven't completed them, these events are 2 monthly rivals events. So we have the normal monthly rivals here at the Estadio circuit in the Cadillac Limo, and then we have the Forza EV rivals at the Arch of Mulej circuit in the Cupra Urban Rebel. I nearly called it the Cupra Born there because that's obviously the family electric EV. So for both of these, all you need to do is post a clean lap. So if your lap has an exclamation mark next to it, that means it is flagged or dirty, and you don't want that, you just want a clean time. So for this I would avoid hitting walls too hard, that will get your lap flagged. Avoid rewinding and avoid missing checkpoints, and you should be absolutely fine. You don't actually have to beat your rival, so don't worry about beating your rival, just pick any random rival. And then just, if you want to drive around really slowly, make sure you get a clean lap, and then you can simply quit and it will be completed. Of course, they don't complete 2 at once, you will have to do them separately. However, they are very easy to complete, and they'll get you 4 points each for the series, and that'll be divided by 4, so you'll get 1 point added on to each week's total. So for both of them, you'll get 8 points towards the series and 2 points added on each week. And if you complete them this week, the points will be added on to the previous season, so you won't miss out on them. Our final 2 events are on the Hot Wheels expansion. For the Hot Wheels events, of course, this is only available to those who have purchased and owned the Hot Wheels expansion. If you do not own it, you can purchase it from the Microsoft Store separately or as part of the Premium Add-ons bundle. If you do not own this expansion, however, and you are therefore not able to complete these Hot Wheels challenges, if you're still going for the 100% achievement, it will take that into consideration. It will subtract the Hot Wheels events points, and as long as you complete all of the other events in the whole of the series festival playlists, then it will allow you to have that achievement unlocked. However, if you do own the expansion and you just choose not to complete these, it will not complete them because you have access to them and you can complete them, therefore it is not technically 100%. This week's Hot Wheels PR stunt is the Ice Crash Danger Sign. It will get you 2 points to the Super Wheel Spin, and the restriction again is S2 class anything goes. So for this one, use any of the cars I suggested earlier for the 3 main map PR stunts, so like the Rimac, the Hoonigan, the Vool, and the Mercedes AMG CLK. Things like that will be able to complete any of the PR stunts on the Hot Wheels expansion, so pick one of them and hopefully you'll be able to complete it. And the final event to wrap up the spring/hot season is the Seasonal Championship by the Fire, which is on Hazard events. It will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a Mercedes-Benz X-Class, and the restriction for this one is A-Class Sports Utility Heroes. For this one, because it is hazard events, I've excluded some of my other sports utility heroes that are better for like dirt and cross country, and because the terrain on the Hot Wheels expansion can be quite severe, the 2 I've selected for you are the 2017 Jaguar F-Pace S with the wide body and lift kit, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk from 2018, again with the wide body lift kit and the aero there for better stability. Both of these will be able to tackle the Hot Wheels terrain and hopefully help you complete this championship. And remember, the same things apply as per the other championship, so they can be completed solo or co-op, and see earlier in the video for the explanation on that one. That wraps up today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. I hope you guys have had a Merry Christmas with you and your families, and I hope you have a Happy New Year, of course, on Saturday, heading on into Sunday. Wishing you and your families all the best, and I will see you next Thursday for some of the Series 16 Forzathon Festival playlist, where of course we have no Fords because the developers are a bit stupid. I hope you enjoyed this week's festival playlist, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye!